particular one turned into a much bigger job than we were expecting. It was originally supposed to be just an engine build. It's turbocharged, and whoever built it and mapped it didn't do a great job, unfortunately. Ended up destroying all the pistons through detonation, which is why it was originally brought to us. But the further we looked into it, the more we found that wasn't as good as it could be.
Torque Developments International.
If you're interested in finding out how we go about optimizing vehicle performance, whether it be engines, chassis, braking, anything to do with automotive, high performance content, then please follow us. Yeah, hello there. Just want to speak to you today about this lovely little E30 BMW that's been brought to us, owned by a gentleman that lives in Germany, which isn't unusual. We get quite a few overseas inquiries for work. This particular one turned into a much bigger job than we were expecting. It was originally supposed to be just an engine build. It's turbocharged, and whoever built it and mapped it didn't do a great job, unfortunately. Ended up destroying all the pistons through detonation, which is why it was originally brought to us. But the further we looked into it, the more we found that wasn't as good as it could be. So fortunately the gentleman's quite discerning, and he's asked us to fix pretty much everything that was wrong with it. So it's turned into quite a big project actually. Been working on it for many months, but all the time and money spent is going to put a big smile on the gentleman's face, hopefully. So obviously the old E30 is generally quite old technology, but what we've done is to bring it bang up to date with the very latest technology. It's got a life racing F88 ECU, traction control, launch control, flat shifting. We fitted ABS sensors on it now. It's got the very latest Garrett G770 turbocharger on it, forged engine, so miles per mile with 650 odd horsepower. It's going to be a bit of a handful, I think. In fact, I know it's a handful. I've driven it. So that's it. So if you want, I can walk you around it a little bit for you. Okay, so let's have a look under the bonnet. This is the Garrett G770 turbo I was telling you about. Although it's rated to 770, its maximum efficiency island is around about sort of 650 horsepower, which is where it's happiest, where it's operating at its most efficiently. As you can see, it's very tight under the bonnet. The car was already turbocharged when it arrived here, and you can see it's very difficult to get a good exhaust manifold design or wastegate actuator design. This car does have a little bit of boost creep, unfortunately, but there's not really much you can do about that. As you can see, it's very tight and complicated under the bonnet here. Over here, we've got a bigger intake manifold. I believe that's a 100mm throttle body there. It's quite big, but we've managed with the F88 ECU on there, which is very good. We've managed to get the drivability superb and the cold starting and running it, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. The engine, which is why it was originally brought to us, is fully forged. It's got forged pistons, forged rods, long stroke crank, ported cylinder head. Obviously with turbocharging, you don't need to worry too much about the porting on the intake side, but on the exhaust side, we spend a lot of effort making sure that the exhaust ports are very efficient. Which helps to spool the turbocharger up much quicker, obviously. If you want, I can demonstrate now how the engine sounds when it's cold, because one of the things that we pay a lot of attention to is to making sure that the piston to cylinder bore clearance is 100% accurate and much tighter than what most people would normally do. And the reason we do that, firstly, is reduces the noise of the engine. Even when it's stone cold, you'll hear that it's as quiet as a standard BMW engine. And obviously piston ring sealing is much better with tight bore clearances, which means that the cylinder pressures are higher and oil consumption is much lower. So that's the reason we do it. It takes a bit of time and it needs very special and accurate equipment to do the measuring, but we have all that here, and so we can do a really nice job on that. So I'll just take you around here. We'll start the engine and see what you think. So as you can, hopefully you can hear that the engine, there's no piston rattling at all. And this is stone cold, absolutely stone cold. So it's worth the effort basically. So here we've got adjustable boost control. Obviously it includes a engine immobilizer as well. We can actually adjust the boost pressure from 0.6 bar up to, I think it's a maximum of 1.4 on this is where the engine's happiest at. This side we've got adjustable traction control, which believe me, this car really needs. With the traction control switched off, even in top gear at 100 mile an hour, it'll still spin the rear wheels. Keeps you awake, but you don't really want that. So we've got adjustable traction control, which you can set up exactly how you like it for different weather conditions, whether it's dry, whether it's wet, whether it's icy, etc, etc. So money very well spent. There's too much traffic here at the moment. So that was a pull just in 4th and 5th gears at low boost pressure. It's quick, it is very quick. And that's just a low boost pressure. And you can imagine how fast it accelerates in the lower gears. That's when the traction control really comes into its own. You're going to need that pretty much every time you put your foot down. Okay, so this is our engine build clean room. All of our engines are built here. As you can see, it's a very nice, tidy environment, very clean. The biggest mistakes that we see that other people make is firstly cleanliness, or lack of cleanliness, I should say. Often they're literally built dirty, if that makes sense. It's just lack of care and attention, basically. The other mistake we often see is lack of attention to detail. Now, when we build engines here, we literally check every single component, every single clearance. We don't assume that any third-party machining that we've had done is correct, because at least 50% of the time it's not, and we reject it. The quality assurance processes that we use here have to be 100% perfect. 99% isn't good enough. It'll be rejected at 99%. So unfortunately, those checking processes, they take some time, they cost a bit of money, but in the long run, it's much better and much cheaper because you're only doing it once and you're doing it right. This is one engine we're doing. This is a Honda F20C from the S2000 engine that's currently in process. We've got a Toyota 2JZ GTE engine over there being done. This is a Ford 3-litre V6 Duratec, which is out of Dennis's race Mondeo. It's chasing about 400 horsepower with that, naturally aspirated, which is it's not easy, but we've got that plan in process, and that'll be tested this year. So if you enjoyed watching this little project that we've done here on this BMW E30 and you want something similar, it doesn't really matter what the car is. We work on all different makes and models of cars. But if you're looking for high quality performance engineering, reach out to us. Our phone number is available here, our website's available. And also, if you just like watching interesting high performance car content, just please follow us. Thank you.
Developments International.